Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing the very long-awaited, very anticipated 1 year update on my septum piercing. So if you guys do or don't know, I had a very interesting journey with this piercing from the minute I got it pierced all the way up until now, which is a little more than 1 year later. It is August 1st, the day that I'm filming this, and you guys are probably seeing this on a way different day. But on July 8th of 2014, I went and got my septum piercing. I just woke up one day and said, I'm gonna go get a new piercing, and I decided for it to be my septum. So I went and got that done, and it is now August 1st, like I said, so it's been way over a year. It's almost been a year and a month, which is crazy. So yeah, I figured I would go ahead and do an update on this piercing in particular because I was pierced very, very low, and I don't know if this video may help someone else out there who also was pierced really low when they got their septum done. I don't know, but I figured I would go ahead and do an update. I don't usually do updates on piercings just because, I don't know, sometimes it's just not really necessary. If they heal, they heal. If they don't, they don't. But this one was pierced a little bit differently, so I figured it was kind of necessary to do an update on it for you guys. I went to my regular piercer who does all my piercings. Yes, my piercings are very, very cheap, so for those of you who have a problem with cheap piercings, you can go ahead and bye-bye and just click out of this video right now. So yeah, my septum piercing was pierced pretty low. It was pierced a couple millimeters below my sweet spot. For those of you who don't know what a sweet spot is, it is a piece of, like a little piece of skin in between the cartilage and the bone, which is usually where a septum piercing goes. It's usually virtually painless and really, really fast and easy. The sweet spot, so it's just two thin pieces of skin. It's just like perfect for a sweet spot. I never really knew where mine was just because I don't really sit around at home all day feeling up my nose to see where my sweet spot is. And also I'm not a professional piercer, so you know, I just don't really know the full septum piercing procedure. The one thing I do know about septum piercings for sure is that every piercer, either experienced or not, they will tell you that septum piercings can sometimes be some of the hardest piercings to do. The reason being is because everyone's nose is different, everyone's sweet spot is in a different place. They're just very difficult piercings to do sometimes. So a lot of people, believe it or not, do get pierced a lot lower or a lot higher than they think they do. If you are someone who was pierced low and got made fun of it for it, like I did, I was harassed all the time on my videos, people calling me an idiot, people making fun of me because my septum piercing was pierced low. I don't really know why they were making fun of me, but they did. So if you're someone who is also pierced really low on your septum, you're really not alone. It happens more than you think. The one question I always get is, why did you go back to that piercer if he pierced your septum piercing so low? Because he's human. You're human watching this. I'm human making this video. We are all human. Therefore, we all make mistakes. Sometimes we have good days. Sometimes we have bad days. Maybe that's how he was trained. Maybe that's just where his person that he learned from, maybe that's just where he was taught where all septum piercings go. I don't really know what the deal was. Mine was just pierced low. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, shun him or not go to him anymore because he pierced one piercing a couple millimeters, literally millimeters, lower than where it was supposed to go. You know, it really doesn't bother me that much. It's not a big deal. A lot of people really give me a lot of shit for my piercer because he pierced it low and made a mistake. You know, if people make mistakes, that's fine. We all learn from mistakes. It's really not a big deal. I could have easily taken it out and got it redone, but I decided not to. Like, you know, big fucking whoop. So yeah, that's just my little rant on that. You know, like, don't hate the piercer or blame the piercer for everything if a little mistake happens. You know, like, you're piercing a body, like, you're gonna mess up sometimes, like you're gonna have off days. It's really not a big deal. Really doesn't bother me that much. A lot of people let that affect their life, and I really don't understand why. But that's the end of that rant. I'm just gonna move on to how it's doing now. So yeah, we're just gonna get off that rant. Okay, so my septum piercing, when I first got it done, the night I went home, because I went at around maybe 2-3 o'clock that day. and by the time I got home a couple hours later, I was really starting to feel the pain. You know when you get a piercing and you go home and a couple hours later it's a little bit sore? It was just that kind of pain. It wasn't anything like excruciating. The tip of my nose was really sore, and like maybe the upper part of my lip here. So it was just kind of really painful. Basically what I did for pain is I would just ice the tip of my nose, and I would also take like a couple ibuprofen just to help with the pain. Just things like that I would do that really kind of helped ease the like really kind of raw, irritated tenderness that I was feeling, and that basically kind of helped. I will admit that healing was quite rough during this past year, just because I was pierced low. Where I was pierced mostly through cartilage, which cartilage piercings, like any piercing that's pierced through any type of cartilage, is going to be a kind of long healing process. So since I was pierced there, healing did take a while and it was a little bit rough. I would say maybe it took around 8 to 9 months to fully heal, but everyone's different with healing and pain and things like that, so who really knows the exact time for everyone. It was constantly sore. The tip of my nose and underneath here, like this part of it, was extremely sore for a very, very long time. Like I couldn't even like do this with my nose. Like if I had an itch, I couldn't like rub my nose like that, just because it was so sore. The reason why I didn't take it out and get it redone is because, one, I'm a lazy bitch and just can't bother with that, and number two, I just figured, you know, I'm just gonna leave it. Why not? Just see how it heals, things like that. And it ended up healing just fine. Like, it's totally fine. It doesn't hurt. I can move it, pull it, tug it. I can do pretty much anything with it. It doesn't hurt. It's totally healed now. 1 year later, granted. Basically what I did for cleaning was I cleaned it 1 to 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day, but I wouldn't go anything over that. I would do sea salt soaks, where I would basically make my sea salt solution in my little medicine cup, and then I would actually dip my nose in there for about 5 minutes a day, obviously breathing through my mouth. But yeah, that really helped, and also I would clean with antibacterial soap in the shower. That also really helped as well. I tried not to touch it, because the more I would touch it or try to mess with it, the more it hurt. Another thing that kind of sucked with mine is when I was pierced, the ring I was given was very, very large, so it was almost inevitable. I usually always bumped it or something like that, just because the ring was so big. So that was a little difficult, and around the 1 month mark, I couldn't take the pain anymore, and I couldn't take the size of the ring because it was so big. It was like 3/8 of an inch, which is a big ring to have in a septum piercing, in my opinion. So around the 1 month mark, I changed it to actually an eyebrow ring. Just a little curved barbell I was able to slip in my piercing, and I wore that for a very, very long time. And then I want to say maybe around maybe 5, 6 months ago, I changed it to a little CBR ring without the ball on it, and that was an 18 gauge, so I kind of downsized a little bit because I was originally pierced with a 16 gauge. So I wore the little 18 gauge little ring in there for a very long time, and as of recently, about a month ago, I changed to this one, which I will talk about in a minute. Nothing hurts about it now, like it's not tender or sore, not even a little bit, like it's totally fine, but healing was a little bit rough. It was one of my most difficult healing piercings. So now I'm going to zoom you in on the actual piercing and show you where exactly I was pierced at. Warning, I was pierced very, very low, so if you're someone who doesn't really want to see that, then don't look, but it's very, very low pierce. Like, I'm surprised. It's weird. So I'm going to zoom you in right now and show you. Okay, so here is my septum piercing. I really do like this ring that I'm wearing in. I think I finally found one that I'm going to keep for a while, but I'll get into that in just a little bit. But yeah, okay, so here's my septum piercing. As you can see, the ring goes through, and then right there is where I was pierced. Hopefully it's in focus and you can see that okay. So yeah, right through there. So I was pierced very, very low, right through that really thick cartilage right there. So getting it pierced was definitely a 9 out of 10. It was very, very painful. But yeah, that's basically where I was pierced. It's very, very low. So there it is on the other side as well. And I ended up going to a different piercer to have him look at it, and literally my sweet spot is 2 millimeters right above that. So my natural sweet spot is really low anyway. One of the questions I'm going to get is, can you flip it up into your nose? Yes, I can, and I do that for work, so I'll go ahead and show you. There really isn't a lot of room right here to flip it up, so I kind of have to jiggy it, but I'll go ahead and show you. Okay. So there it is, flipped up into my nose. As you can see, there it is, all chilling up in there. So yeah, that's basically how I flip it up, and when I flip it down, I basically just grab the ring and just flip it back down like that. Yeah, that's basically what it's looking like right now. As you can see, I think it was the 2-month or 1-month update video I did a long time ago. I was struggling with scar tissue and hypertrophic scars on them. As you can see, they have all disappeared and gone. You know, nothing hurts on them anymore. I don't get keloids anymore. I can flip it up easily and up, down, you know, all that good stuff. So now we're going to talk about the jewelry that I have in it, because if you are someone who has a very low pure septum piercing, then you would know the number one thing about, you know, that type of piercing is finding good looking jewelry for it, because the standard size septum rings you can't wear because they look too big and they look like a huge horseshoe hanging from your nose, and I'm not about that look. So it took me a very, very long time to find a ring that I like, and I finally found this one that I really like, and I'm going to be talking about them right now. So basically, we went to a 3-day music festival, me and my fiance. We went to a 3-day music festival at the beginning of July, and I had actually lost my belly button ring, so I had to go to a Walmart just to buy a new belly button ring just to keep in my piercing until I could get home. So we went to Walmart, and I was looking at the belly rings, found one I liked, and as I was like waiting for the girl to like get it out of the casing thing, I saw these, and these are actually a 4-pack of little tiny horseshoes, which just look like this. Yes, I got them at Walmart. If you're someone who's gonna bitch and complain about Walmart jewelry, you can leave this video now. I'm just gonna say this once. When your piercing is totally healed, you can wear literally whatever you want in it. Like, who really cares? If it's healed, you know, wear whatever you want. Wear a pencil in it, wear a safety pin, do whatever you want. I don't really care. Like, when my piercings are healed, I'm gonna wear what I want. It doesn't have to be high quality, $150 jewelry all the time. Like, get real. Who has money for that? So yeah, the jewelry I found was just a 4-pack of little tiny horseshoes from Walmart. This 4-pack was $9. It is the brand Hot Silver, studio quality, surgical steel, 16 gauge horseshoes. As far as like diameter goes, I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. If I were to guess, maybe I would say like 6 to 7 millimeters for like diameter sizing and things like that. I'll go ahead and show you a close-up of, you know, what they look like more in depth. Okay, so here's what the one that I have in my nose looks like out of the box. As you can see, it's a very, very tiny ring with the little tiny balls on it. Just a really simple look. This is like the look I've been wanting for a long time, but that's what that one looks like. So I would say maybe about 6 to 7 millimeters in size. And then here's what the other one looks like, which this one just has the 2 little spikes on the end. They are both the same size and the same gauge. The only difference is one has spikes and the other one has the little balls. But they're basically, there's just what they look like up close. So yeah, this is the ring that I have in now. I changed it a few weeks ago and I absolutely love it. I think it looks really, really good. It's something that I will stick with for a very long time. The one thing that kind of came with changing it that kind of sucked is the ring that I had in before this was an 18 gauge, because the ones that I bought were a 16 gauge, and in the piercing world, a 16 gauge is actually a lot thicker than an 18. So when I took out the 18 gauge piercing, I knew it was going to be a little bit difficult trying to fit a 16 gauge through an 18 gauge hole. You know what I mean? Like, ow. So when I finally got it through, my eyes just started watering. Like, it was ridiculous. It hurt so bad, just because you're trying to fit something that's thicker into something that's only 18 gauges thick, you know what I mean? So it kind of had to stretch the piercing up a size, which was very, very painful. So for, I think maybe for about a week, my nose was tender again, like all over again. Like it literally felt like I just got it pierced, and I was like, no. But it took about a week for it to feel better, and now it feels totally fine. So if you're someone who changes your piercings a lot and you don't understand why it hurts so bad when you do, make sure you're paying attention to gauge size, because sometimes you don't, without even knowing it, you could be, you know, in and out with an 18 to a 16 to a 14, and it could be really, really tender. So always pay attention to gauge size. I knew it was going to be tender, but it did take a good week for it to feel better. A couple questions that I'm going to answer really quick is, one, do you still clean it? And the answer is yes, sometimes I do. Usually about once a week, I really try to thoroughly clean all my piercings, just because it's good for them. You should always just clean the area anyway. Just because it is an open hole, so you just want to keep it clean. So I do try to clean it at least once a week just cause. And another question I'm going to get is, did you ever get the smell? Usually when you get a septum piercing, a lot of people talk about this odor or this smell that you get inside your nose. And to be perfectly honest, I never experienced that smell. I don't know if it's like, you know, only some people get it, or if it's like a certain type of jewelry. I don't really know, but no, I never experienced any sort of smell. Okay, so that's everything that I have for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this 1-year update on my septum piercing. Make sure you give a huge thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to my channel before you go. But until then, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye guys!